My name is Optimus Prime, and welcome to another fantastic episode of Tech Specs, our monthly show where we take a deep dive into a toy or character from our favourite franchises. This week, to celebrate some amazing recent reveals, we're taking a look at Masterpiece Optimus Prime. I am joined, as ever, by my fantastic co-host, Primetime Moff. Moff.
Hello everyone, how are we all? In this episode, listen, you're going to hear us talk about Masterpiece Optimus Prime. So many variants. We'll chat about whether it's MP1 or MP01. We may even decide which version is our favourite until we change our mind tomorrow. We'll talk about scale, cartoon accuracy, and as I say, so many repaints, but so much more. So strap in and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, so this is obviously brought upon by the recent revelation of yet another Masterpiece Optimus Prime in the works. And it's coming quickly and is a lot further along than I would have expected. Barely even rumoured. Like MP44, we had like rumours going around for ages. There were sneaky pictures and all sorts of stuff. And then it eventually turned up. And this one seems to be like, and here's another one. Which is nice, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later. So let's have a quick sort of talk about the Masterpiece line as a whole. What do you remember first about the Masterpiece line?
I feel as if my age gets the better of me points because I remember certain aspects. I remember the concept of Masterpiece line coming out circa around the time, obviously, of like alternators, vinyl tech, and it was just like, a toy that's going to be this size, it's going to be huge. And I remember just looking at pictures and thinking, oh my God, this thing looks amazing. The level of articulation, the pistons, there's so many working bits on it. And I just remember the sheer excitement about it. At that time, I had never imported anything, so I didn't know if that was going to be a possibility. Didn't know how I was going to get hold of this, what I was going to do. But I remember thinking, this is something I'm going to have to own at some point. But I didn't get the Japanese one. I never ever did. I think I like the Japanese one just to say I have MP1.
I do have a Japanese one, but I'll get onto that in a second. I mean, for me, it was around the sort of the inception of me like scouring the internet for Transformers stuff. You know, waiting half an hour for a page to load, which seems madness, being that was only 22, 23 years ago. But the first things I remember seeing was around that time. I can't even remember what the website was that I was looking at, but they sort of had, it was one of the Toy Fair things, and they showed pictures of one of the Japanese Toy Fairs, and it had pictures of the first alternator, Subaru, and Smokescreen, and Masterpiece MP01 Prime, and that was just, it was like a weird, almost golden era, because we just had like car robots. We were just starting to get things like Armada, Beast Wars had ended, and then this Masterpiece line sort of came. The first version I had was the 20th anniversary Optimus Prime.
Same.
And I ordered it it was the first time I ever ordered a Transformer from somewhere other than buying it from Toys R Us or the shops. It was the first time I ever ordered one, and I ordered it from Big Bad Toy Store.
Go to that.
And it arrived on my birthday, I want to say, but it was around that sort of time. And I remember it turning up and the postman asking me to give him £60 for custom fees, which was nice. I think it cost about 70 quid, but I could be wrong.
Cannot remember it in the slightest. Like, that's the kind of bits that, people always talk about cost, and I get it. but very quickly I forget how much it costs when it's
Yeah.
something like that that just is sheer joy. I'm like, I remember thinking at the time, "Oh, this isn't cheap," but I can tell you the cost, and it doesn't phase me in the slightest because I've had so many years of joy out of
Ah,
that thing.
yeah. No, 100%. I have no, for the most part of my collection, I'm not, I don't worry about how much it's cost. If I did, I think I'd be a
Nervous breakdown.
have a small, yeah, I'd definitely have a nervous breakdown. But also I'd have a much smaller collection. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, it's not a thing that we should really focus on too much, unless you're really rich.
Mine to
Um,
that. I think I said. I'm sure I said this story when we were doing a series last year. But mine arrived from Big Bad, and I had been at uni, and I came home, and it had just been left on the front step. Like nobody was in the house; they just left the front step, and I remember freaking out because I was like, it was obviously there, it was safe, but freaking out, going like, this is. I remember feeling it was definitely the feeling of this the most expensive toy I've ever bought, and it's just been left. Oh my God, this is crazy. And then straight away as soon as I open it, I forget about it. But I always remember that just bit of walking up the drive and I seen a box sitting in the steps, and I'm like going, huh? But at the opposite end, they kind of took it away, and I went, I got it that day, so I got it
yeah,
early.
no, no, that is, yeah. I remember getting something turned up. I think it was the first day I was on holiday in the States, and we were away for 3 weeks, and it got thrown over my back fence. And think, I think it might have been Tactics waistcoat. The
Oh wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, and it was the special edition one with the extra guns. But it got chucked over my fence, and I had to get my neighbour to go and get it. Otherwise, it's going to be sat there for 3 weeks in the British summer, which is definitely going to be not raining. Anyway, digression. Let's focus back to the Masterpiece line. So let's have a couple of little facts in our tech specky kind of pretending we know what we're talking about. So the Masterpiece line started with MP01 or MP1. I'm going to go with O1. What are you going to go with?
I go 0-1 mainly just because the rest, like, it just feels right. Like,
Uh,
it just, I know it's not, and I know it, like, it wasn't MP01. I
no.
know it was just MP1, or 20th anniversary, rather than MP anything. But I think when you just get to the numbers, just for the simplicity of putting them in a spreadsheet or anything, that's 0-1,
Yeah.
MP01.
Yeah. So MP1, O1 arrived, Optimus Prime arrived in Japan in late 2003, early 2004. 20th Anniversary Prime obviously came out as 20th anniversary. I think it arrived over here in Toys R Us about 2005, maybe.
Yeah,
It was
that's
a
my recollection. It was
wee, yeah, it was,
properly late.
yeah, yeah. I did slightly regret paying a load of money to get it from America, only to have it turn up in Toys R Us. But at the same time, it was like a year later, so not that bothered. So that, and that kicked off the whole sort of masterpiece era, which is of course led to so many different things. I mean, it effectively kicked off the third party explosion, because prior to there being a masterpiece line, there was nothing so much for the third party companies
Yeah, it
to
was more upgrade kits, really.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. It was very few actual uh, uh, transformers that they were actually creating. There was some. I'm not going to say that there was none, but the whole sort of making masterpiece style figures sort of kicked off. Well, that sort of scale kicked off
yeah,
around sort of shortly after this. But of course, to start off with, Masterpiece didn't have a scale.
no,
You had the MP1, who was, well, he is ginormous.
yes,
He is
yes.
a big old hench action figure that is just enormous and easily dwarfs pretty much anything you want to compare it to. There we go.
I'd
Is
also argue it really kicked off the era of collector, like collector focused line, which is probably why third party jumps into it
oh,
because actually,
exactly, yeah,
other than that, how could you discern whether it was for kids or for adults? Whereas this and alternators were the first lines that really focused on people like us.
yeah. I mean, this is the toy that was definitely not aimed at children. It wasn't. It was expensive. It was big. It was complicated. It was difficult to transform to an extent. Um, yeah, it was what it it is what it was, and it's, as I said, completely kicked off an entire movement. Um, then there wasn't any real masterpiece figures of much difference for a little while. You got Megatron and Starscream and Soundwave and a couple of the Carbots, and then they started to sort of think about a little bit. It seemed to be that they were like, hang on a second, this is all over the shop in terms of scale, in terms of what we're working with. So you've got the big giant Optimus Prime, you've got the big giant Megatron. Soundwave was a bit smaller, Starscream was a bit smaller. They weren't really sort of scaled. And then you've got the Carbots who sort of started coming to be a bit more sort of scaled together. But this all changed when in uh, 2011 they brought out MP10, which was the second version of Optimus Prime. And for many, sort of the definitive Optimus Prime at that point. It was smaller, it scaled better with the Carbots, it scaled better with some of the Decepticon stuff that had come out. And it was just I don't know, a more solid toy. It was,
Yeah.
yeah, I think.
MP1 feels, or MP01. Oh God, I'm going to do it. I'll flick between the original Masterpiece Prime never felt like a toy. I always felt like a collector's piece. And I know that technically MP10 is still a collector's piece because it's Masterpiece, but it felt more toyetic. The coming with the trailer, it was a simpler transformation. It just a more intuitive. Like, don't be wrong, MP1 is probably still my favourite. Just wow factor. Like I always go back to how many toys have given me that wow factor, and MP1 had that. MP10 was good, but it was not that same. Didn't have the same vibe. But I think for a lot of people, it still holds up as one of the best. Like, I know I can see all the multiple color versions as well behind you, which is, but it's such a lovely, lovely toy. Like, it really is a fun toy.
Yeah, yeah, that really hits the nail on the head. It's a fun toy. It was Masterpiece became very complicated. Megatron, the original one, was
Oh my God.
he was a pig to transform. And Starscream was a bit complicated. Soundwave was Soundwave, so we've spoken to death about that.
So,
that Masterpiece figure.
Soundwave is obviously the best Masterpiece figure.
I'm not entirely going to disagree with you on that one, surprisingly. But yeah, he was Soundwave. He transformed like Soundwave. He was a great fun and amazing toy. And yeah, when MP10 came along, he was just that little bit more fun. You could have fun with it, whereas MP01, he's not even he's posable, but he doesn't hold a pose.
No.
You can't really, and even after a little while, he got really quite loose in places. He isn't a toy that's intended to be played with, even though he has lots of different play features.
Yeah.
But yeah, so MP11 came along and kicked off like an entire different era of Masterpiece figures. The Carbots all scaled with him, and everything else sort of subsequent with that sort of became that sort of scale. He ended up with no gigantic bots anymore, apart from possibly, I don't know, Grimlock was probably a little bit too small technically. But yeah, so that was that, and MP10, he basically had, I think, 15 official versions came out between 2011 or 2012, depending on whether you're getting the American version or the Japanese version, and 2019 when MP44 came out. So 15 versions. Those are the official ones as well. That is also not including 4 Atmos recolors that were never released. They've always, I think they might still appear, who knows, but yeah, they haven't as yet. And then, of course, we got MP44 in 2019, who caused a wee bit of furore when he appeared, because
Right, so it's frightening.
Well, yes, that was the big thing. At the same time, you had a few of the third-party companies were bringing out their own new versions of Optimus Prime. So you had TE01, you had the MS, whatever it was, the Magic Square version. Those two toys are, for a lot of people, the definitive Optimus Primes. I mean, I absolutely love Transform Element 01. It's one of my absolute favorite figures. It's such a nice bot, and it's got a transparent version, which is probably one of my absolute favorite toys. But yeah, MP44 came out, and he was controversial because he had a gigantic backpack. His transformation was bonkers. There was problems with his knees, and it cost about 300 odd quid for the when it was initially released. And I love it and hate it. It looks amazing from certain angles. It got KO'd quite quickly, and the KOs very quickly made some improvements to it, removed that giant backpack. And the giant backpack it's a sound gimmick as well. It's not even necessary.
It's almost like almost like G2, because that little bit of G2 you can put the side clip on it back. But yeah, do you know, a question for you, right? So we talked about MP1, we talked about MP10, and how they're fun in their own ways. I think I've probably transformed MP1 the most. I'm quite sure I have, actually, before. MP10 I've transformed a fair few times. I've only ever transformed MP44 once, like one back and forward, and I don't foresee me ever. It's not a bot I would rush to pick up and go, right, I'm going to transform something tonight. It'd be that. I would far more, if you said to me right now, go and transform a Masterpiece Prime, I would go to MP1. Like all day long, I'd go MP1, MP01, because it has so many clever bits about it. MP44 was clever, but just too engineered. Like that's where I think Masterpiece kind of had lost me a wee bit. Like I think the carbots were really clever, they were fun to transform, and then see when they start to get too overly engineered, and probably where I felt with a lot of third party for a long period of time was it's just over engineered for the sake of over engineering. It doesn't need to be like that. But I still like it. Like I still think it's the one that's in my masterpiece display of season 1 and season 2 bots is MP44, because he's the best looking bot, or the most cartoon accurate looking bot.
And that, I think, is the key thing. This is now I've got it in my hand. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I do actually really like this toy. But yeah, as you say, it's the most cartoon accurate. It looks like it stepped out of the cartoon from the front. From the back, it's a little bit. Well, actually, the back's not too bad. It's the side, that backpack, and weirdly as well. Even though I got it out of the cabinet a minute ago, the backpack in my head is bigger than it actually is when you actually get it out. It's not huge, and it does fit the jetpack on over it, so you can kind of hide it a little bit. But yeah, he does look amazing, and there's some really nice features like the way the skirt, not that they're doing it now, but the way the skirt, stuck. Okay, but the way the skirt moves out and in, that was quite nice, and it moves back when you move his legs out. And yeah, he does look really good. You got the alternate heads, you got the alternate little battle damage pieces, and then of course you've got all the trailer and all that extra gubbins. So it is a really, really good figure. Is it nearly £400 worth of toy? Possibly not. But did I have to have it? And did everybody else have to have it? Because for all the talk of it being too expensive and everything else, it's sold out. And it's quite difficult to get hold of. The original version.
We've had, in my time with Prime Time, we've had one, and it sold. Like, it sold at an inflated price because it's aftermarket, and it sold quick, and it was like, whoa. And I mean, I hold my hands up. I've got a KO. I had no interest in paying for the full one. If I had never had the option to get a KO, I'd never got it. I'll be honest. It just wasn't enough of a change to MP10, and actually I probably would have went with a transform element instead. But when the KO option came up, I was like, that solves that issue.
Yeah. I've got, well, it's me, so I've got three, three of the KOs. Three slightly different ones. I've got one with battle damage on. They're all pretty much the same, but they're slight variations. Annoyingly, I wanted to get the they did like a toy coloured one, but I never managed to get hold of that. But luckily, Takara did a toy coloured version, so I bought that instead for more money, obviously. But that's actually a really nice version. I really like that. He's on my G1 toy Prime shelf, which I'm going to leave him there and not get him off just to go, ooh, because I'll knock other things over. So he's staying there. But yeah, he's, I think, my favourite version. I've only got two versions. I did not bother with the black version. And what's the other one coming out? Shattered Glass. There's a Shattered Glass one coming out as well. So that was about that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a quick go through all of the different versions of Masterpiece Prime in all.
Strap in, this is a 7 hour episode.
No, I think we're going to be reasonably, because we've spoken about them a fair bit already. I think we can do this reasonably quickly without too much shenanigans.
Can I tell you, see, even just before you bring up the slide, when I looked at the slides and just all the fun features at MP1, I just remember that, like, the feeling of this is an amazing, like, it really is amazing. All the wee extra gimmicks in it are just. I always think of the kind of shins and how that works, and that's the bit that always makes me go, "This is impressive." But see, when you look at all the other bits it comes with, it's just brilliant. Like, it's actually just brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to. I've got a review video, a retro review video coming up of him, so I'm not going to go too much over him. But also, I always forget. Well, I don't forget, but it always slightly surprises me exactly how heavy this bad boy is as well. Also, this being my original one, he got dropped. I don't know if you can see. He got dropped on his head, so his he's so weighty. It just massive stretch back on his head.
I don't remember who did it. I bought a third-party upgrade head for it. And then what I did with the original head is I took some electrical wire, I glued it into the bottom, and have is it MP5 Megatron? MP5 Megatron holding his severed Prime severed head, based on it was my friend, one of my oldest friends, when we were at high school, did me a picture, and it was Megatron holding a severed Prime head when we were sitting in physics, and they went, "Here, look, I've done something for you." It's like, "You're maybe working." He's like, "Yeah, but look at this." And as soon as he showed it to me, I was like, "Oh, that's okay." So I still have that picture. So to recreate that in a toy form eventually was quite fun. Anyway, that's just my extra wee MP1 head story. You give yours.
That's a good story. Yeah, I need to get a new head for him. My 20th anniversary Optimus Prime, which is my first Masterpiece one, is the one I just showed. I actually only got one of the other versions fairly recently, but I did pick up off of eBay, I think it was. Somebody was selling an MP01 missing all of its bits, and I thought it was just I got it because I wanted to swap the head out for my my Prime. It cost me like 20 quid, and it was only when I got it that I realised it's an MP01, not a 20th anniversary. It's a Japanese one. It's awful because I don't know if you can see his legs, but they are well yellow. But yeah, not bad for 20 quid. Not gonna sniff at that. Oh, what am I gonna put in? Too many primes. Never enough. Right. Okay, so we'll start with MP01. Now, I can't see the list of figures, so we're going to have to try and figure this one out a little bit. But this is the original MP1 with all of his accessories and loveliness. And let's not forget that he initially came with a cardboard trailer. It wasn't until MP4, MP4, yes, MP4 that was the second version of MP1, but with a trailer this time. Now, I haven't included Ultra Magnus repaints in this because Ultra Magnus is not Optimus Prime, even though they share a mold. But I have included Nemesis Primes because I am contrary like that. So yeah, yeah. So he came with. So let's just go through the features. So he's got the Matrix. The Matrix lights up, which is fab. His mouth plate, there's got a button on the back of his head that you press it, his mouth moves up and down. If you feel like it, you can remove, if you unscrew his head and remove the faceplate, he's actually got a mouth, which is terrifying.
Didn't know that. Didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's terrifying. He came with a gun version Megatron, which is really nice, and all of his stock and silencer and scope all come off, which is also very cool. And he turns into a hench truck. He's got the communicators on his arms, and depending on which version you have, depends on what is actually in those communicators, because on some versions it's Megatron and Bumblebee, or Starscream and Bumblebee, and I think that's it. But yeah, we've spoken enough about him. Let's move on to the next of these wonderful toys. Boop. Boop. There we go. Ah, look, it's a Nemesis version. But my argument here is that this Black Convoy is Nucleon Quest version because he's still got the Autobot symbol and not the Decepticon symbol. So therefore he's an Optimus Prime as opposed to a Nemesis Prime. The obligatory black repaint in all of its lovely glory. I still actually have one of those as well, which is nice. And then this is last shot. This is definitely in the wrong order then. Wait. Boop. No. They are completely in the wrong order. No, everything's gone wrong. It's fine.
Just talk about the ones as they come up. Just talk
about that works. So the last version of MP01 that came out was the Last Shot, which came out in 2000 and I don't know. 2011.
Oh no, hold on. I'll tell you, because we had it up on a go. Yeah, 2011, and it was this is the last chance to get Masterpiece Optimus Prime. This is it. No more Masterpiece Optimus Prime. No more. Oh wait a minute.
Yeah, it was literally like a few months later the next one came out. Interesting thing about that is it uses the base that came with the American version that was the DVD version, I think.
Yeah.
And for the anniversary of the movie, I believe, but I can't remember offhand. So that was quite cool. But what the difference? One thing I hadn't mentioned is that the first version of him had all the battle damage paint on him, and this is one of the first clean ones. I think MP4 was also a clean one. Anyway, let us move on. Oh yes, that's. I was thinking that was an MP10, but that's not an MP10. That is in fact the exceptionally rare and sought after sleep mode convoy, which is the first time they ever did a version of dead Optimus Prime from Transformers the movie. He looks grey, but he's not. He's like a massively desaturated red and blue.
Oh wow.
And he came with a clear trailer because MP4 came with the trailer. I think we'll get onto him in a second. And his version of Megatron he comes with is like the movie where he gets turned into Galvatron, so clear purple, which is really nice. I do not have him, and I will probably never own him because he costs the earth, but looks fantastic. I do love a dead Optimus Prime repaint, and this is the only one I think that's been released officially that has the desaturated colors as opposed to just grey.
That's next to know. I never knew that. That's cool.
MP4, which is the one with the trailer, which is exactly the same as MP1, apart from it had the non battle damage paint and had a trailer, which is a thing that people want. Didn't come with a roller though, only just the trailer and places to put all of his weaponry and gubbins. I do not have an MP1 or MP4 trailer because they're enormous and I wouldn't know where to put it. In fact, all of my
it's frightening the size. I've only ever seen it once, and I was like, wow.
yeah, it's I just don't know why.
I don't keep any of the Prime trailers. I've got a selection of Prime trailers right now. I've got some in box up the loft, and I've got a couple in my room that are just on the floor because, like, in front of the bookcases, because it's like, where else do you put them? MP10s. I've got an MP10, my MP10 with its trailer, and I've got the retro release from last year with its trailer on top because it just looks nice to have two together.
Yeah,
But it's just the trailer's a challenge because it is just a bulky thing. Like who's got space to display that in that size open?
yeah.
Like you don't. You just don't.
I did have an MP44 trailer on display, and that was only because in stand-up base mode at the back of my MP Autobot shelf, back when I had an MP Autobot shelf, but now I just have a crate of trailers in my loft, which is a shame because I would love to display them, but just don't have the space. Not if I want to keep collecting. So onwards, and this is another. You are never gonna own this. This is the lucky draw version of MP01. Very, very limited. It's the is it E-Hobby that do the lucky draw?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah. They're prizes. They're really, really limited. There's a tiny, tiny number of them each time, and they're exceptionally sought after, and they cost the earth. They do one every year or two for different ranges. There's many, many different versions from different lines. I've seen a couple of them in the flesh. There's a guy at TFN last year, lovely Japanese guy who had all sorts of lovely, rare Japanese stuff. He had a couple of lucky draw figures. They were expensive, and they weren't even ones you'd necessarily be leaping out to get. They were, I think, one of them was an animated one, and I can't remember what the other one was, but they were like in the hundreds and hundreds of pounds. So yes, lovely, looks gorgeous, but you'll never ever own an official one of those unless you're very rich or very lucky, and I am neither. And this is the 20th anniversary Optimus Prime, the one that we all got to start off with. So the smallest smokestacks. Other than that, it's exactly the same figure, and had the battle damage, which I was always a bit disappointed it did.
Agree.
Yeah, I always just wanted a nice clean one, which is a bit of a shame. But other than that, it's exactly the same as the Japanese one. Came in a lovely 20th anniversary sort of window box. He was in bot mode, standing up, looking all cool. I still got my box. I think it's a bit worse for wear, but yeah. Again, we've spoken about him quite a bit. As I said, I'm going to do a review so I can show off all the pistons and all the lovely little features they've got in it, because he's just full of gimmicks, and it's just so nice. And this is the clean one that came out, the DVD version, I think. It had a base that made noises. You could press it and it would do Optimus Prime speech. For some reason, his gun is blue. I never quite understood that. He's got some extra paint apps and also removed paint apps because he doesn't have all the battle damage stuff. And he's a brighter red. I actually only just recently got hold of one of those, and I really like it. And I'm glad I got one. Next up, I think we're on to MP10. So this is MP10. We've spoken quite a bit about MP10 already. Anything you want to add at this point? This is the original MP10 as opposed to the Toys R Us version.
It's a Toys R Us version I've got. And same. I got it. Get my timings right. So this MP10 comes out 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So I never got Toys R Us one. And I only know that I know the very close to how when I got it. I'm sure I got it February 2013 because I'm sure Jamie was I'm sure I was off on paternity when Jamie was born and it
Mm.
arrived. And I remember because the reason I say I'm off paternity because my mother-in-law was here for the 4 weeks and stayed with us for the pretty much the 4 weeks that I was off paternity, and I got dog's abuse for the fact that I had bought this expensive toy when the wife was we were trying to cut down on money. But it had been a I saved my Christmas and birthday money and treated myself, so I'm sure it would have been February 2013, which is like when did the Toys R Us version come out? Must have been late 2012. 'Cause
So
I can't
yeah,
imagine I would have hung about before waiting for it.
I'm thinking it must have come out because I got it. I got it for Christmas. I blackmailed my mum into getting it for me for Christmas by basically saying you didn't get me Optimus Prime when I was a child. um, so I managed to get her to get me this. As what year is
Brilliant.
that? 2012. So I would have been 32, 30 something. I don't know how old how old am I now? No idea. Anyway, I would have been in my 30s. Um, and yeah, so he was my Christmas present. But this is the MP10. The big differences between the MP10 and the Toys R Us release are the inside of the trailer is painted as opposed to just bare plastic, and the roller is silver as opposed to blue. So fun little facts there because I learnt stuff. And now, inexplicably, I've gone straight on to one of the many, many repaints. This is one of the Bathing Ape repaints. Bathing Ape is a clothing company that I know absolutely nothing about. However, for some inexplicable reason, they have about 5 or 6 different Optimus Prime variants
It's mad.
that they've done. So they did a couple of reissue G1s, which are quite expensive, and these ones, there's a whole. I mean, we think it's bad pre-ordering stuff as toy collectors, but if you're into clothes and limited edition clothes and stuff like that, and when they have these drops, people go mad for it. It's like Apple iPhones and stuff like that. You know, people queue up outside of the shop waiting for it to be released, and then they all go in and they buy their stuff and they come out with their whatever. And these Optimus Primes were released as something along those lines, so they're very, very, very hard to get hold of. They might have been sold on the websites, but mostly it's been the secondary market after the release because they sell out reasonably immediately. Of the MP10s, I think there's 3 versions. There's the green one, there's a grey one, and there's a red one. I've got the grey one, yay! And it's not a KO either. Also, they got KO'd. Quite a lot of the MP10s, less so anything. I don't think there is actually a KO of MP1,
No, I've never seen one.
but MP10s there are so many KOs of that figure, so many.
Including an incredibly oversized one as well.
Oh yes, yeah. I mean, I didn't even think about that one, but yeah. So, but basically, you've got like the Voyager size one, the MPVs.
Yeah.
You've got all the way through to Lewin Resources, Lewin Atlas, which is the gigantic version, and pretty much anything else you could want in between. Slightly oversized, very oversized, actual size, smaller. It's bonkers. But yeah, and a lot of the repaints, the hard to get repaints, have been KO'd. So that is unfortunately the way of things, and some of them are quite difficult to tell. The Masterpiece line, in terms of KOs, is very, very oversaturated with KOs. It's difficult to, when you're buying a Masterpiece figure, especially secondhand, to know whether or not you're getting a
Yeah.
KO or not. If you look on eBay and you see a Masterpiece figure for less than 100 quid normally, you're probably getting a KO. But when they were first coming out, it was a little bit more difficult because the price point was a bit lower and the KO price points were a little bit sort of more
Yeah.
even. So yeah, I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 MP10s. One of which is a KO, and that's the Evangelion version. Anyway, so that is one of the bathing ape versions. He has a little ape on his shoulder, as you can see, and a nice little camo motif. Green Prime, always nice, and it is an Optimus Prime, so it counts. Oh no, what have I done? Not that. Go away. Oh, it's drawing all over things. My mistake.
It's not take spec, it's take issues.
Shh. Don't tell anybody we work in IT. Right. So this is the Evangelion one. As I said before, I've only got a KO, which I shall got off of Greg. And yeah, it's just a repaint, purple bonkersness. It's nice. I like it, but it is not. What is going on? I clicked on something and now I can't do things. There we go.
I think the good thing with that image, but it shows you the feature that the fact that Roller can take Prime trailer. Like,
oh yes, that's a very good point. Yeah, yeah. I always forget that you can do that. That is a very good point. Well made. Yeah, it's a good little repaint. It's a homage to the Evangelion cartoon, which I know absolutely nothing about, so don't ask me. And
but it's cool colours
and green. Oh, the colours are absolutely amazing. I really like the trailer as well. I really like all the design work.
Yeah,
on the trailer.
I agree. Really yeah,
nice.
It looks like a proper hauler's trailer. Like it looks like whereas you don't really expect to see Optimus Prime's kind of clear trailer or a clean trailer on the road, but that you could kind of almost see it being just a normal trailer on the road.
And I quite like the almost olive drab kind of greeny grey colour that Roller is as well. It's just nice. But as I say, I've only got a KO of that, and I don't think I'm ever going to manage to get a real one, at least not at a reasonable price. Next, it's another Bathing Ape one. I really messed up the order on these, but it's fine. This is the red one, which you can tell by it being red. This is a deeper red than the normal Optimus Prime, and hasn't got blue legs, and it just looks... I really like it. I don't have it. If I can get hold of an original version, I might bother at some point. Actually, no, if I can get an original version, I will bother, but I won't bother getting a KO just to fill the void, as it were. And then there's the grey one. I got that one.
That's quite nice.
I like it because it's probably the closest I'm ever going to get to the sleep version as well.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It's got a nice sort of metallic blue on his little accents there. He's a nice figure. I didn't open him for ages. I was almost torn because he was sealed. And then I thought, no, it's going to get opened. And then, boop. This one. This is actually a little bit of a controversy for me and a wee bit of a grail, and I probably won't get one. 7-Eleven Prime, in conjunction with the 7-Eleven stores that seem to be most other places in the world apart from here. It's white, it's got green on it, it looks like Ultra Magnus, but it's not Ultra Magnus. It even has sort of the similar colorings to an Ultra Magnus would have. It's got the blue through his faceplate and everything. So I reckon they were going to make it Ultra Magnus, but if you're a company and you're doing a collaboration with Hasbro Takara to do a toy, you're not going to want a second-rate character like Ultra Magnus to be your figure. You'll want it to be Optimus Prime. So, yeah. It's that weird thing. They never want to be Decepticons. They always want to be good guys. And they always want to be Optimus Prime, which means I have more Optimus Primes to buy, which is good and bad. Next, we have... So I was talking a little bit earlier about the Atmos versions. There are several Atmos versions that have come out. I think it's got something to do with Nike trainers or Nike trainers. Again, not massively up on all of this.
I was trying to zoom in because I was trying to see it, and I didn't realise I was changing the image in the background. So apologies. I made it bigger. So what
Yeah.
is that kind of wheel covers on the back wheels? That's kind of funky. I've never seen that.
Yeah. All the MP10s got that.
Because I noticed it on the 711, the way he's stand as a robot, but
I think it's more mistransformations because he's got wheel
yeah,
coverings on the normal MP10, but you
yeah,
normally when you flip it over, you flip that around the back. Yeah. So that would
okay.
normally be hidden
Yeah,
away. So technically it's a mistransformation, but I suppose also it's to show off the lovely camouflage pattern on
that's kind of
his.
cool.
Yeah, so
It's
this is
a bit weird, like the cab's been different colours. Like I don't mind like when you look at the is it bathing ape, whatever. Like
Bape,
I don't
I think they
bape,
call it.
bape
A
like
bathing ape. Sorry.
it being kind of uniform colour across and then just the camouflage I think's nice. I don't really like. I like at first I'm like, oh, that's quite cool, and then the more I look at it, I go, my OCD's upset by the
Uh, yeah, yeah,
different colours. Like, oh no, I don't like that.
yeah. It's yeah. The alternate colors on his chest piece, on his arms, on his legs. It's not. It's sort of verging more onto the Toys R Us Jeffrey Prime in terms of
Yes.
bonkers colours. But I love that toy, so that's not something I'm going to complain about. But yeah, he's cool. This is the duck camo version. If I hadn't mentioned that earlier, I'm not really sure what that means. Something to do with trainers, probably, that I have no interest in. But you know, lots of people collect trainers, and they probably bought these because they wanted them. However, he was the only one I've been able to get hold of at a reasonable price. And then there's the other one of the Atmos series, which is the LeBron James version. Now, if you're not somebody who is aware of this, Mr. James is some kind of American sports personality. I believe he plays the basketballs. And therefore, they have created this version of Optimus Prime in his honor, which I guess is something to do with trainers again. I don't know. I don't know what Atmos is. I'm gonna
No.
be completely honest here. When I was looking it up, it said something to do with Nike, so I went with that. Let's go with it. I mean, he's a sports person. He probably has a trainer sponsorship, and maybe they're yellow and brown. It's a really odd color scheme, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. I'm just trying to work out. I'm trying to see if I could work out what it was, but I can't. I'm not seeing it.
Nah, it's fine.
No.
We're going to get people shouting at us in the comments if anybody actually
Oh
watches
no,
this
it's a
video.
trainer. I found it. I
Yes.
found a picture. I found a picture of it with a trainer.
Oh, well, there you
Oh,
go.
okay. That's quite cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the normal MP10 mold. It's exactly the same as all the other versions. It's got different color weapons and different color paint apps. There are 3 or 4, I think there's 4 more versions that haven't seen the light of day in other
Yeah.
color schemes. Again, tied into
Tiger Stripes
different
one looks
trailers.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. I should have put some pictures up of the ones that didn't actually come out, but I didn't think of it. Yeah, so there'll be about what one thing that I don't know, maybe it's the different color schemes, but it seems with some of the other versions, some of the KO versions, they've extended his legs on the bottom half. That grill piece on his shins has 4 like flaps. But some of the KO versions have got an additional one. Just makes him look a bit more proportioned because it does look a little squat in the sort of lower legs. He's not. It's proportioned fine, but yeah, some people prefer it with more flaps. So yeah, that's the LeBron version. That one I don't have, but I do have a KO version that is oversized. So I have a bigger one, which is nice. Next, we have an obligatory Nemesis. This is actually a Nemesis Prime. He is there because I don't know, he was just
He's so pretty,
version.
but
He is because there isn't actually a Ultra Magnus in this mod, is there? Not an official.
no, I think that's why people like the 711.
Yeah.
That was what I've kind of coveted because it's the closest you get to Ultramax. So
Yeah.
pretty. That's so pretty.
And the actual Ultra Magnus came out sort of not too long after MP21, I want to say.
Yeah, I think so.
That was a great toy. I love that one. And moving on. Ah, yes. Now this isn't the lucky draw version because they didn't do a lucky draw MP10. Instead, they did a easy to get hold of Golden Lagoon version. Oh, look at him shine. Look at him shine.
Ooh.
So shiny. He's a lot shinier than he looks like in that picture. However, all of the non-shiny pieces are this sort of almost caramelly kind of goldy plastic. And
I
it
see that in
does
the picture and it looks
like,
weird.
yeah, he looks like he's made out of Caramac. Which is yeah. I mean, he's an Optimus Prime and had to be bought, and it's probably the closest I'm ever going to get to a lucky draw, but it's very caramelly. I think the normal lucky draw ones are a lot more electroplated plastic and look a lot more shiny. Anyway, let's move on because this is taking forever. That is Toys R Us MP1, which is exactly the same as Japanese MP1, apart from the blue roller and brighter blue and red plastic. Other than that, pretty much identical. And this is the Year of the Horse version, which was pretty much MP10 but with different colours. It is. The Chinese New Year versions, there's normally a Chinese New Year figure. I think this was one of the first ones actually, but yeah, they just do a different coloured version of whatever character. Most often it is Optimus Prime, but they have done a Soundwave. They have done a few others. There's an Omega Supreme from the Energon mould, and there's been a few others here and there as well. I think there was a Ultra Magnus as well, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, so this year was Year of the Horse, and was it Year of the Horse? I just confused myself. I think it was Year of the Horse.
You don't know.
Year of the Optimus Prime.
Yeah, Year of the Horse. Year of the Horse.
So mostly, it's just quite a cool color scheme. The red's really deep. It's nice having the blue Energon axe, and the transparent trailer is gorgeous. But I do love a bit of transparency. So yeah, that is that one. And then let's move on to Shattered Glass. Shattered Glass, weirdly, is not a Takara figure. It's also technically not a Hasbro release. It was one of those, that little period where they had the Asian exclusives. So it came in the Platinum Series packaging.
Okay, yeah,
Hasbro sort of packaging. The same thing that they did all the re-releases of like Triptychon and all that. That sort of packaging, but it was a Takara version. It's cool. It's purple. The blue is really nice, and it's really just a really cool version. Yeah, and they keep doing Shattered Glass things in the hopes that I suppose they'll catch on at one point, and people seem to like it. I haven't got any particular love for Shattered Glass, but hey, that's fine.
Some of them are good. Some of them, like the Shattered Glass Jetfire's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Some of them are actually stunning, to be fair.
They always look nice. I think it's because they haven't had a mainstream media thing.
No.
There's been, I think there was a comic and there's a few other bits and bobs, but nothing like big. So yeah, I haven't really ever got particularly attached to them. But anyway, they look nice. And then there's another version of Masterpiece Prime, which was the Toys R Us exclusive, which was almost exactly the same as MP1, because this one had the painted interior, which the other one didn't have, and the colouring is slightly different to the original Toys R Us release. And that's that. And then we have this bonkers collaboration.
That's the best repaint by far.
It is, yeah.
So clever.
It is just absolute bonkers wonderfulness, and a bit of a remolding because you've got a couple of extra parts there to make it more Ghostbusters-y. It's a fun repaint and a fun figure. One of the very last versions of MP10 to come out. It's also quite telling because this is the 35th anniversary toy, or one of the 35th anniversary toys, 2019. But you also had the Year of the Horse was part of the Thrilling 30 line. So you had the 30th and the 35th anniversary celebrated by the same
Toy.
figure.
The roller's just genius.
The
Like
roller
actual
is
genius, isn't it?
genius. Yeah, it's so good. And of course, the box is a proton pack with
Man, oh,
straps,
that's
so
so
you
cool.
can wear it. Why would you? But also, why not? I love it. And then we move on to MP44, who we've already spoken about a little bit. Let's have a quick go over him. He does come with a ton of stuff. He's got all of the things you'd expect an Optimus Prime to come with. He's got his Energon axe. He's got some blast effects. He's got his blaster. You've got a couple of alternate heads, including Starscream and a Starscream fins things that he has on his shoulders from when Starscream cosplayed as Optimus Prime that one time in that cartoon. That one time, he's got the battle damage post to go in his side. He's got the jetpack. Sideswipes jetpack that he steals in More Than Meets the Eye. Roller, obviously, and the trailer. The trailer is a really nice color scheme and looks awesome. And it's probably my favorite looking truck. Maybe. Yeah, no, I'm going to go with that. It's my favorite looking truck of the of the Masterpiece Optimus Primes. Um, and as shown off there, you can use the command module as a flight stand for him, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's quite clever. I never knew that.
Yeah.
Or I probably did. I've probably seen it, but like I'm not something I've thought about since.
Oh, and you can fit Spike and Sparkplug inside him, which is always fun. And as I said before, it's the closest to the animated version as any. But again, as I was saying about his backpack, I think the pictures of him in the flight pack with that massive backpack coming off the back just looks so odd.
Yeah,
but also, but that's because it's got the jetpack stuck onto the back of the backpack as well.
Yeah.
All good fun. Let's move on to other versions. So this is the toy version that I spoke about earlier. You've
So it's got a smaller backpack, doesn't it?
It does have a smaller. No, I don't know if it does. I think it actually has the same.
I was always sure it was smaller.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I thought it was smaller as well, but it does appear to be the same size. I can confirm that later. But yeah, he's got the cartoon version head, and he's also got the toy version head, so it's a bit more rounded. Lovely metallic paint, and also the stickers to make him more G1 toy accurate. I haven't put the stickers on mine actually. I might do that. Just give him a bit more toyness. But he's lovely. I do like a toy accurate repaint. And then it's an obligatory Nemesis version. This is not Nucleon Quest, so it is a Nemesis Prime, and I am not getting that. Or I've seen it cheap a couple of times. Well, I got rid of all my Nemesis Primes. I decided Nemesis Primes don't count, but mostly because I had quite a few and I need the shelf space. Nah, I probably won't get one unless I see one cheap. So I probably will get one. And then there's this one coming out, which is a shattered glass MP44, but he's an MPG.
Yes,
MPG?
yeah. MPG. Don't remember number.
It's maybe
him and Jetfire getting him and Skyfire.
Yeah.
Getting the MPG shattered glass there, which again was the if you ever needed to really be certain of the MPGs the same scale.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of debate over what MPG actually is and what scale actually is. I mean, even really Masterpiece, there's no real. I mean, people talk about Masterpiece scale, but Masterpiece scale isn't really completely accurate.
There's multiple examples throughout the line where the scale doesn't match the original scale chart stuff, but it's they look nice together.
Yeah, They do, and yeah, this new sort of iteration of Masterpiece, it's not really any different from moving from Masterpiece to Masterpiece, and more of a focus on the animated style, which is what MP became. But this sort of kicked off with the Raiden, didn't it? With the Raiden train bots.
Which was always we talked about this in the MPG bit, but it was always scaled to be more train
Mm,
scale rather than anything else.
yeah,
Everything else seems to be fitting in. And as we say, we're about to talk about the first of the MPG Prime ones, and it can't scale because if you scale it compared to the cartoon, it's going to be huge.
yeah, yeah.
This is This is an interesting figure, and we talked about obviously the fact that the two versions, one's an MP and one's an MPG, so you've kind of you finish off MP, and I said this on when we talked about this. MP1 was such a good figure, like
Yeah,
such a great way to go. You want a collector focused line? Here you go. Look at all the bells and whistles, all the cool stuff, and it gave you that wow factor. And in my opinion, they finished it off with a toy that gave that feeling as well. This is genuinely one of my favourite Masterpiece toys. It reminds me of what was fun about Masterpiece being it's a nice, fun transformation. It looks really good, really posable. It's a great bot.
yeah, yeah. We've spoken about this before, so we're not going to go too much on it. But it's a great figure. It's a really good way to cap off the Masterpiece line of
Yeah.
that era and iteration, and at the same time continue with the MPGs. But as you say,
Yep.
if it wasn't a slightly smaller version, then that toy would be enormous. As it is, it's enormous,
Mhm.
and it's a decent. It would be if you think about how much it costs to get an MP44, like 300 plus
Oh
quid
yeah.
when it came out. This is considerably cheaper, but not ridiculously. And you think of it's like 6 7 years worth of inflation on top of that as well.
Yeah,
Probably even worse now, especially if you're American or Americans.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so if it had been bigger scaled, if it had been scaled sort of this little bit up, it would have been just ridiculously expensive,
Yeah, it would have been.
um, and wouldn't have fit on my shelves. And I've got enough big masterpiece
I love it.
style.
Love it, love
Oh,
it, love it.
it's
We
so
don't need to
good.
talk more about it. We've
No,
talked so
no,
much
no.
about it.
Which brings us finally to what we wanted to talk about in the first place, which is the brand new MPG 17 Style Gen Optimus Prime. So, this is the first. I don't know why I wasn't expecting a new Optimus Prime, but if you think about the timescales, it's about right because the distance between MP1 and MP10 was what, 8 years,
Yep.
2003 to 2011, and then 2011 to 2019, so 8 years again. Okay, it's only 6 years, but it's not massively out of the realms.
But is this not Takara's 40th anniversary this year?
I mean, yes, there is that that
So,
side of it.
do you know, like
Um,
when you look at that, then it's to have a new Masterpiece Prime to go with that.
yeah,
But give us a master. Well, I don't know. I was gonna say give us a new Masterpiece Megatron. I don't know. I worry that they would do a gun Megatron again, but Japan's quite good at their.
yeah, no,
Anyway,
they
that's
they probably will. I mean, the thing is, it's interesting. I wasn't expecting it, but as I said, I should have been expecting it really. I'll talk about its aesthetics in a second. But yeah, you're right. They've launched a new line. There is anniversaries coming up, and Optimus Prime is always the character that will lead the way in these. Um, it's never going to be Bumblebee. It's never going to be Soundwave. It's never going to be Megatron. It will always be Optimus Prime because Optimus Prime is the most popular character, and Optimus Prime is the most popular character because they always do Optimus Prime. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. There's no way to stop it. It is relentless. It will never end. There will always be Optimus Primes. Um, and yeah, so I don't know why I was
Such a
surprised.
mix. But it's just, well, see, I'm surprised because they could have done just a reissue.
Mhm.
Like MP4, this doesn't do anything that the other ones don't. That's what surprises me more than anything else. Is like, what's the need for it? Like, do do MP44 normal version without a trailer like that. That essentially that is this. Like, you could
So,
have done that, and you could have got it at a price point that would have made people happy.
so I think what this is, and I very likely wrong on this, but I think what the MPG line is partially is its masterpiece look, masterpiece quality, but not necessarily masterpiece complication. It's a
Yeah, and it's
more
also not trying to be proper animated. Like they've went overly focused on animated, whereas now they're, as you say, they're trying not to be. I think that was the greatest version. So I
and
get your feeling that it's maybe going back to harken back to the kind of more enjoyable transformations and stuff of the MP01 and MP10 rather than
yeah,
the overcomplicated
and
Okay.
I think maybe also it's a bit of a response to the third parties because third parties they're Takara bring out a lovely looking anime style toy, and everybody will think it's amazing for about 6 seconds before Fans Hobby or X Transbots or whoever else brings out a superior version that looks better, has it looks better in both
Yeah.
modes, and all of the fanboys are like, oh well, I'm not going to buy the Takara one, pish, third party only for me. So Takara had to do something to keep this line fresh, keep these lines going, and keep people buying them when there is such a saturated
Yeah.
market of third party out there. They're never going to be able to shut down all the third party companies because they change their name, they change their address, they make a new version 2 minutes later. We've seen it happen countless times, and I don't think they're interested in doing it anymore because it's still creating buzz for the
The
main
brand.
lines, even though you've got a fair chunk of collectors who will tell you that they only collect third party, which I always find slightly, I don't know, disingenuous. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's, and this is
Uh,
by no means trying to demonize or offend people who only collect third party. There's plenty of reasons to only collect third party. But I always find it's like it's cutting your nose off to spite your face a little bit. I won't collect any mainline stuff. Any official stuff. I'm only going to collect third party stuff. It's like I'm only ever going to buy bootleg DVDs. I will never watch anything um, pay to go and see something in better quality. I don't know, but
no, and I think it's the aspect of if you collect a bit of everything, you get to enjoy a bit of everything. Like to
yeah,
say I'm only going to collect one is you're limiting yourself off from fun experiences, and that's the challenge.
yeah,
I look forward to seeing this, right? So I know the idiots will buy this, and the idiots will hopefully then bring them to conventions and let sensible people like me who don't buy them experience them. Simon, don't know who I'm talking about.
I don't
Paddy,
know what you're
Paddy.
talking about. Paddy,
Love
yeah,
it, Paddy.
Paddy.
Yeah. So I'll be curious to see it. Like it's the this aspect when you go into this, when it's a bit of like, well, it's got the movie
Yeah,
knife
that's what I
hands,
wanted to talk about. Yeah, Carol. Yeah,
and then it's like, what is it trying? That's the I suppose that's the bit that's confusing a lot of people as well. Is like, what is it trying to be?
well, and
Like,
then that's
and I don't know.
I think that's kind of it though. It's not trying to be any one version. It's trying to sort of create its own thing, but also appeal to different people. And the style generation, the style gen, so it's generation style. So basically it's chug styled MP figure is what a lot of people are
Yeah,
assuming they mean by that,
yeah,
and that seems to make a lot of sense because it's not a big bot. It's got the holes the same as the most of the mainline figures. The what is it, 6 mil
yeah,
pegs,
yeah,
and as you say, it's got weapons that are Generation 1 styled, but also movie styled. He's got the weird shield axe thing that came with the Siege version. Um, and it's odd. It's an odd selection of things to do. It's kind of it's a bit like the the Marvel way. over the last couple of years where they've been like throwing stuff at the wall to see what people like the look of
Yeah.
with their post-credit scenes. I'll throw a load of characters and go, "Oh, is that people like that?" Then we'll go with that. So I don't know. It's baffling, but I get it kind of. And
If
also,
it transforms and it's as enjoyable to transform as MP60, then
yeah,
I'm okay with it. Like, if
yeah,
that becomes a more enjoyable transformation, then I'm okay with it.
yeah.
I
I
still,
mean,
I'll wait and see. It'll sell. It'll sell popular. It'll be popular. As you say, it's Optimus Prime.
yeah,
It will be popular.
yeah. He looks cool. It's a cool Optimus Prime design. I like that the weapons don't look like having the movie style swords doesn't look out of place on this figure. It could have. I don't like that
It's
axe, but I
nice.
didn't like that axe on any version. That's a very nice Matrix containment unit.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, the hints at how the transformation works look pretty good. I think there's an animation cropped up recently of it, which looks quite nice. I like how the chest opens up. You can see the hinge is sort of positioned in the center of the chest, so it
Yeah.
sort of folds out a little bit like the Energon version. Well, not so much like the Energon version, but anyway, I don't like that axe. But I've
No.
never liked that axe. I haven't liked any version of that axe. So it's not. They don't base these things on me buying them, obviously. But it looks posable enough. And one thing I very much like and very much appreciate is the back is clean in both modes. That is quite likely the best looking Optimus Prime truck backside that I've seen in a Masterpiece figure. It's not massively chunky. It looks like the back of a truck.
Yeah.
So that's quite pleasing. And weapon storage, that's what that little clear thing's for. It's to stick all of his weapons all over him because
Oh, okay. Yeah.
why
Okay.
not?
I
Um,
suppose.
yeah. So that, I think, one more picture. Yeah, that's the last picture I've got of him showing all of his bits. He's about, what's he at? But just shy of 200 quid, I think, give or take,
Yeah.
currently.
Available on Pulse.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is nice. 'Cause I think this is what this T Spark, like all the T Spark stuff seems to be available on Pulse. Like,
yeah. I don't know what
because
T-Spark means.
MPG, or Super Ginrai wasn't available, but the T Spark, Nucleon Quest is, and then the T Spark this. I don't really like. I'm not gonna pick it up. I'm not gonna stock it. I don't think because the price to stock, having I've got a little bit of Nucleon Quest and I've got a little bit of Missing Link. The price to then what the independents have, I can't top them. Like I actually paid more from a wholesale for not Nucleon Quest, or for Missing Link RC than some of the independents had up
Hmm.
for a price. And I was like, well, I won't be stocking anymore. I thought it'd be quite cool to be able to stock them. I won't be stocking anymore, Shad. But um, I'm sure people will get this and people will be happy. As I say, I'm sure one of your Paddy will get it, and I would then
Yeah,
just
I'm definitely gonna get one.
I'll be nice to you and put one of these into bringing it to. It's because I think soon it'll be out before August. Is that if I remember right?
Oh,
I might be
potentially.
wrong. Hold on, I'm
I
going to
can't.
check. I'll check the pulse. Because I've got my internet open.
I'll cut this bit out.
Uh, no, don't. So have you pre-ordered it?
Not yet.
Because a question will be is where are you pre-ordering from? Are you pre-ordering it online? Pre-order by the 18th of May, it says. £185 on Takara. From Takara, sorry. Oh, no, that's ages away. It's ages away before it comes out. The pre-order will available to ship on approximately 21st of March. I always like it when it's approximately and it's a date. Approximately 21st of March 2026. So it's
Ah, cool.
miles away. Miles
Oh well,
away.
then I probably will do it on pause because I
I
don't
was
have to pay for it yet.
Yeah, I was sure it was. I was sure it was sooner than that because we'd seen the prototype figures, but
Yeah,
guess not. Okay, okay.
but I mean,
Cool.
Pulse dates are never particularly accurate anyway.
No.
But yes. Okay, right. I think we're gonna wrap this up and draw this to a close now. Before anybody has anybody actually got this far? If you've got this far in the video, drop a comment saying, I made it.
And Simon will buy you this figure.
Sure.
He won't.
Yeah.
He won't. He won't. He
No.
won't.
No. We should do some prizes though. We should do that. Anyway, yes, right. That's the end of this week's episode. Probably gone on a bit longer than we intended to, but there was a lot to cover in this one.
Yes.
Some nice information and some very, very nice toys. And I'm going to try and get some review videos up in the next week or so, and some shorts, lots of MP related stuff for the next few weeks. And we're going to do a couple of episodes of G1 cartoon for our Toon Time, prime time Toon Time. So those would be fun. So please do remember to like and subscribe and tell your friends and watch our videos, please. And sometimes we have other people in them other than me and Moff. And, you know, sometimes they're more fun. Who knows? Anyway, thank you for watching. I have been Optimus Prime. And this has been...
I've repainted the Moff. Yeah.
Have a lovely time. See you again. Bye.